Hi, I'm Trish. Welcome to my true crime reading for today. Today I'm going to have a look at Idaho 4 again. I recently just rewatched some of my videos, and recently, I think only about 2 weeks ago, I had a dream about the Idaho 4, and that made me kind of get back into the Idaho 4 readings. So I did rewatch that one, and there was another couple. I might link one of those videos at the end of this video so you can see what I'm talking about. Now, last night I watched somebody else's video, and I'm going to put their details up on the screen so you can see which video I read and the title. And I couldn't believe the amount of things that were his personal opinion about the case that really matched in with all of what I'd been reading on. Now, when I do a reading, when I first start a reading on a true crime, I go in with just the most basic of information. So, you know, the date it happened, the name of the people, and that way I'm going in kind of clean without anybody else's opinion, and I can just tap in to see what I'm picking up from them. In one of the readings I've done on this case, I actually tapped into Maddie and Kaylee, medium. I tapped into them on the other side, and I got some really big insights on that information as well, but how it connected to this video that I watched last night on his personal opinions. 3 of those videos that I've done have actually really lined up with what he was saying. One of those things, he believes it was 2 o'clock instead of the 4 p.m. time that they say the crime happened. 2 p.m. Kaylee or Maddie that I was talking to both girls, was going 2 like this, 2 o'clock. So maybe they were saying 2 o'clock. It happened at 2. So there was that, but also I kept getting discrepancies in the timing. There was an issue around timing, whether it was related to delivery. I kept getting things in the readings that I've done relating to either the delivery truck, delivery driver, or the grub truck, I think it's called. Something around food transport or delivery service kept coming up over and over again. Now, he mentioned names right through, so I will definitely be, I'll say now that everything that I've said in any of my videos or anything that I will say on a true crime is all alleged. It is in my opinion. It is not facts. It's based on the card reading and what the cards say about the situation. It is not evidence in any way. And he said the same thing, but then he went naming all these people and saying how they fitted within the puzzle piece. Now, I've done readings and I've mentioned the names. I've mentioned, say, I did a reading on Emma. She came up when I read her against BK. The energy of that was one person it did show she was in jail at the time too. The card came out that she was in jail, but the energy was one person was going against the other person. So whether she was giving evidence or what she would say would help lock him up. So, but still didn't say whether she was guilty or not. So she could have done it, but again, given something that would throw away the key on BK. Something about that anyway happened in the reading, but it was where when I put those 2 names together, one of them was going against the other one. So he was also saying that BK had no connections to the 4 in any way. He was saying there was a fight between that Xana and Ethan had that was very important. Now, I'd only just said that in my last reading that I did about the dream. It kept coming up saying, actually it came up in the medium reading with Maddie and Kaylee as well. It was saying in the dream, when I did the reading on that dream video, that there was a fight. There was a fight that we all knew about. So we saw the footage of it at the grub truck between Maddie, Kaylee, and it could have been Adam or Jack. I'm not sure which one it was. But we knew about that situation. We knew where he said, they're going to get you or we're going to get you. So one of the 2, we knew about that. But then there was also, it was showing me that there was another fight that we don't know about, that's not being played out about, that is more circled around Ethan and Xana. And when I did the reading where I was tapping into the energies of Kaylee or Maddie, she was saying the same thing. So they were saying too, trying to get me to put the attention on what was going on around them too. Something was also going on around them too that was really important. Now, it was also in the dream where I had the dream about the person in the car that was dropping somebody off, one of the housemates off at the house, was also significant. He says that could have been in his scenario of this playing it out in perhaps a different way, he was saying that maybe many people were involved in the situation to get people to a place where they needed to be at a certain time. One of these, he said, was just the private car driver had to get them to a place at a certain time. In my dream, the car driver was very important. So whoever somebody was in a car with was very important. Now, and the person that was in the car with them didn't know what their intentions were or didn't know how this was going to play out, but at some point got an inkling of, in my dream, got an inkling, something they said about a killing hat or killing in the dream to the housemate in the car, then made that person think, oh, what's really going on here? So it's like the person, the housemate, I believe one of the surviving two was the one in the car. I'm not 100% sure. They didn't show me which housemate was sitting in the car with them, but they were showing me that they didn't really understand the consequences of what was really going to happen. So I don't think they really thought what happened was going to happen. But this person in the dream, it showed me that they got an inkling of how big this really was. They got whether it was one of the actual 4 housemates, and they started to worry about, wow, this could be serious. Somebody may be coming to get me, like Jack or Adam had said, and that's when they were in the car with somebody. I don't know if it was them, or I don't know which person was in the car. They didn't show me which housemate was in the car, but the sense that they gave me was that something that was said in the car gave them a kind of an inkling or an understanding that this is bigger than what I think it is. It's worse than I think, because they showed me locking a door once they got into the house. Now this could also be what they were showing me with locking the door, could also have been maybe unlocking a door, the back door. It could have been one of the housemates going in there and then unlocking a door, because there's footage, and that's the other thing, the footage. In one of my readings, it said to me there is photographic footage from somebody, or some kind of photographic evidence, because it was showing me camera and evidence of something that's really significant in this case. So and it's not brought to light, but there was some kind of significant photographic evidence, and now they're saying there's floating around of some video that was done showing around about 2 o'clock a female running from the back of the house. So who knows? I'm only just finding this out myself. That's what I mean. I'm shocked. The cards did say there's some kind of video floating around that gives more light on the situation. The cards did say there was discrepancies with the timing. The timing was not right. The cards have said all along there's issues, something surrounding food delivery or the food truck. That's a very big significant part. And the dream said that the driver knew something. The driver knew what was going on. Perhaps like this video that I watched last night, perhaps they were responsible for getting someone back to the house at a certain time, because they showed me, they were talking about a hat. So the hat. Now, that dream didn't have anything to do with BK. I didn't feel that was BK or anything, but that's what they were showing me. And that's what I mean. The video that I watched last night lined up with a lot of the things the cards have been saying. So it kind of just made me feel like, okay, I want to do a reading on the 2 o'clock time. I've never done it. The cards have said to me there's discrepancies in the time, and told me about the video evidence. I want to ask the cards, is that real? That evidence of that female running from the back of the house, is that real? Perhaps in my dream where I was seeing someone lock a door, were they unlocking the door, not locking the door? That's another thing. And is the time wrong? Is there issues around the time? Is it 2 o'clock? So they're the questions that I'm going to ask today. So hopefully we get some answers here, and hopefully everything just lines up. So let's get on with the reading. Okay, so I've just tapped into my my oracle, my personalized oracle, just to get permission on the reading, just to make sure that I'm connected, just to make sure that I have permission to read on this subject. So I've got the connection here I can see in this card, so they've given me a connection. What they do want me to talk about is the timing. They want to talk about issues around the timing and the people seen running from the house. They want to talk about either people that seen it or the people that were seen on the videos running from the house. Because I believe there was like a female seen, and then there was like 4 people seen running from the house as well, at an earlier time. So not the 4 o'clock time, at a different time. So I feel like that is important as well. They also want to talk about controlling. Who was in control of this? So that's something I didn't mention earlier, but the cards are wanting to talk about controlling. Who was in control of this situation? And the shift of focus. So where we've been thinking it's one way, we need to focus our attention on something else instead. So that's what they're wanting to bring up here. So let's get into this reading. And the first thing I'm going to ask is timing. Let's talk timing first of all. Okay, what do you have to say about the timing being more like around 2 than 4 that these murders were committed? Okay, so the card that I held up to the screen that was on the bottom of the deck that fell out with a bunch of other cards, and I felt it was important to show you that card, was about a confrontation. That was a card of confrontation. Now I'm putting that up because I got the card of very similar card, both lions. This one's aggressive attack. So this we're talking about the attack. Okay, so what it's showing me here, somebody passing through. Somebody I know passing through. I'm getting the family connections card again. I'm getting family connections. I've got to be very honest about that. I got that last week when I read on about the dream. I was getting something about family connections. Now, I think that reading that I watched last night, or one of his, because I watched a couple of his videos, he did speak about allegations towards different family members of the victims. So I don't know if that's what I'm bringing in here, but I've just got to let you know that we're dealing with something to do with family connections going on here as well. Now, being and it says more than one up here, so this is more than one. This is also Maddie and Kaylee too, the 2 blonde girls, but it says more than one and its implications. So changing the timing from 4 to 2, or the reason why it was changed from 2 to 4 is to do with could be implicated at a certain time. So, and here we're looking at 2 hands. This is called split minds. It's also mental illness, but it's a split minds. But here it's showing me a person that's got the 2 hands. So it's showing me on one hand it's being shown this way, but it's actually this way. So there's 2 different options here. And funny enough, he has got, I've never noticed this in this card before, 2 timepieces hanging off each hand. How about that? 2, and I've never noticed that in this card, for I've been reading this deck for nearly a year now, and he's got 2 timepieces hanging off each hand. So it's showing on one hand this time, but we're looking at this time. So isn't that funny when I'm asking about times? So more than one person involved here. Okay, so if we're looking at 4 p.m., 4 a.m., if we're looking at that 4-ish time, that goes better to charging BK, the one person, BK. If we're looking at what happened between the 2 and the 4, then that implicates, I'm only reading straight from the cards here, implicates more than one. So I think that's really important here. That's why the timing had to be changed, because it sets a more clear path for trial, as in, yeah, it sets a clear path for trial, for the trial to go the way that they want it to go. Very interesting. Okay, so down the bottom in the second line, we're looking at the attack. It says somebody I used to know. This card can also mean somebody I know did this. And that's the other thing. When I watched this video last night, he said BK didn't have any connections to any of them. Sure, he could have been like a creepy stalker because he has, that's come up in his past with the camera, digital spying. So that has come up, but I'm not seeing anything in these cards that are talking about a creeper or a stalker or digital stalking of any way. I'm not seeing it in these cards. What I am seeing right here, right now, but I'm only asking about the timing. That's what I'm questioning right now, is the timing. So I'm seeing the attack happened, somebody passing through. Who was passing through the house at that time? Okay, so now what they're showing me, what they're saying is that by having it around that 4 a.m. time, there's no video evidence of other people being in the house at that time. It more of a standalone of one person, BK, to be clearly charged on this one. But if we look back further to around that 2 a.m. time and start looking at what was going on around that time, this is where we're seeing who passed through the house at that time, who was seen running from the house at that time, who was running from the back from that time, because the cards are saying who passed through that house at that time. Because here we're looking at an aggressive attack. Here we're looking at, it was somebody that was known, and here we're looking at a family connection, perhaps being a possible reason. Down below, we're looking at a powerful group. And from the beginning, when I've started reading on this, before I even looked into it, as I said, the first reading I do is I skim the surface. I don't have any information about it apart from their names and the date, and where it took place. And so I can do a basic reading on what I can pick up without being influenced by anything else around me. I was saying that there was like factions. I'm seeing factions at war, or it was related to somebody, something somebody had said, and I say this in most of the readings that I do, somebody had said, and that caused an outcome. So they didn't realize what outcome that would be. I've been saying that from the beginning. They didn't really know, whoever this was didn't know what the outcome was going to be, as bad as what it was, but they knew there was going to be some kind of outcome. And that lies in with what we hear, the mouth reading of "they're going to get you." It also can relate to where she said, how much did you tell him? I told him everything. So that can come back into that. So that's been coming up all along here, and that's really important. But in the reading I did with Maddie and Kaylee, and I tapped into Maddie and Kaylee's energy, she was saying to me, I need to check the lovers, I need to check the couple and look into what was going on around the couple. And this card here is saying the couple, the lovers. So this is the lovers card, and this is talking about the couple. So again, I say, are we talking about the couple that we know of, Ethan and Xana, or are we talking about a couple being somebody that had split up with one of the other housemates, so Maddie or Kaylee, so a separated couple, or a relationship that was going on with one of those two? So are we talking, but she was bringing up couple as well, relationship, couple, lovers as well. Somebody they know passing through, and that made me think then lovers passing through. But it's also, the situation is also related to a powerful person. Question I asked was, let's look at the timing being 2 a.m. instead of 4 a.m. And then the cards are saying the timepiece showing 2 different times, and what will happen if we look at 2 hours prior, what was going on. We're going to see that there was more than one person passing through the house, and that it will implicate more than one person. If we take the time back a little bit, more than one person involved in the aggressive attack, somebody that was known to them or somebody they used to know. So that could even indicate somebody that they once had a relationship with, so in some way, so something that they have known, or some kind of relationship, or some kind of, they've known them in the past, or they know them, and who was passing through the house. There is a family connection here, and there's also powerful person involved here, and lovers, something related around the lovers, it's saying. So let's go to the next question, and let's look at the video footage around that. They're saying somebody was found, there's video of a female running from the back of the house. Now this is making me think about where I saw one of the housemates locking or unlocking a door. It's like the sense that I had in the dream is that this is where they had an inkling of what was going to go down. So it was like the sense that I had in the dream was that maybe they didn't know the extreme of it. When I was sitting in the car, I was the person in the car, I finally for the first time got an inkling to the level of aggression that was going to take place here. They probably didn't know how bad it was going to be, but they had some inkling of it being not good. So this could have been one of the victims, and where it will say we're going to get you, maybe in something that was said in the car made them think, okay, this is serious, maybe somebody is going to get me. Or this could have been one of the surviving housemates in a car, and somebody had said to them, or after something they'd said back, that's when they got the inkling that something was going to take place, but not knowing how bad it was going to be. But in my dream, they had a level of fear about the situation and didn't want to be there, didn't want to be involved, didn't want to be there. So that's what I'm thinking, like, was it the person that was seen running from the house? Did they know what was going to take place and realised it was going to be worse than they thought, didn't want to be there? Because in my dream, I was kind of locking the door. I thought I was locking the door because I was a bit fearful and didn't want to be part of it. So that's kind of the sense that I was getting. So the person seen running from the house on the video, did they know something was going to take place? Did they unlock the door instead of locking the door? And that's what came from that video that I watched last night, and that was his personal opinion. But it kind of tied in with the dream that I had, and it tied in with what the cards have been saying. So that's what I thought was interesting. So let's ask the cards about the video footage where the female was running from the back of the house. Let's see what's going to happen there. Okay, so a couple of interesting things have come out in this spread. We're talking about either video footage, and I haven't personally seen that video footage. Video footage of, that's why I'm posting the name of the person that had this information, so you can kind of follow it back from there. Now, he said that around 2ish, there was some kind of video footage of a female seen running from the house, coming from the back of the house. Now, this is what I'm looking at here now. I don't know which card to start with here because they're all very interesting. Let's start from the top. The top, it says, this is the undercover. Oh, okay. I've just got to say, this Hierophant card, this is my authority card. Authorities, which means judges, police, that kind of thing. So this is the authorities card here. Very funny that it's come up in this spread. Sitting above that, it says undercover. So I know there's been talk of it, but I think that's all I'm going to say on that subject. It's sitting here in the cards. It's sitting here when I'm talking about somebody that was seen coming from the back of the house around that time. That's kind of interesting, but it's kind of, I don't know, I'm not going to push that really any further. I'm just going to let you know that it's sitting here in the cards. Now, I'm also sitting right next to that. It says purposely disappeared. So that person was getting out of that house purposely because they knew what was coming. So they were intentionally told to leave that house, or they knew what was coming. Whether they knew exactly what was coming, they knew it was time to get out of that house. So that's why it was seen. Now, here is an organised meetup. So something had been organised. So it either had been organised for this person to either unlock the door and leave, or it was and I don't know which person it was, sorry, and that's what I mean. I'm not this is all alleged, and I'm not accusing anyone. I don't even know which person it was. I'm just saying these cards are saying that somebody purposely disappeared, and that was organised to be that way because there was some kind of organised thing that was coming. Either an organised meetup, can be read as in like a hookup. There was somebody there that was somebody else playing out in that house around that time. I'm talking from 2 a.m. that was involved, or that this had been something that was pre-planned or pre-organized, the actual crime I mean, or it was saying that the person that left the house or unlocked the door or seen come running from the side of the house, it was organized for them to get out. Now, walking alone, we've got the Fool card, walking alone. So I believe now what we're talking about is the person. So because in this situation, and I spoke about it, there was 4 people seen running from the house, and then there was another person seen running from the side of the house. I think what we're focusing on here is the footage of the female that was coming up the side. So where I said, they'd heard that there was footage of 4 people running from the house, and there was footage from a female coming from the back of the house. This card says walking alone. So what we're talking about here is the person that was walking alone was the one that was organised to get up, or involved in, or organised in somehow in it, knew about an organised meetup, or it was organised for her to get out. So who knows? I don't know. So I'm just saying this is what's on the cards. Now it's also saying here hidden away. So somebody was hidden away, hiding away. So that makes me think about the 2 surviving housemates, or maybe it was somebody in the house that was there around 2 but wasn't there after, when it took so long to call the authorities. So maybe there was somebody there in the house, because in that dream I'd seen somebody sleeping on the couch. So it was either somebody that had slept on the couch in the past, or it was just indicating there was somebody in the home that didn't have a bedroom there, so there was somebody else staying there in the house at the time. But maybe by the time they called the police, that person had left. It was like getting that person out of the house. But this card is saying that there's some element here being hidden away, whether they were hiding away the surviving housemates, or whether it's hiding away somebody else that was in the house at the time. And that would be the reason for changing the time from 2 to 4. So the difference is there. So that's what this is showing up. Now this is my BK card. This is my Coburger card. I said this, but this is also about like a stalker kind of energy, or somebody sitting at the back of the house. So this is somehow related to this as well. I'm not sure why now I'm seeing BK, whether this is related to Coburger, or this is related to somebody else that was stalking around the back of the house, because this is somebody looking through a window or coming in through a glass sliding door, because this is what the image is. So whether we're seeing that person on the footage that unlocked the back sliding door and was walking alone up the side of the house so that somebody could come through the glass sliding door, because this is what we're seeing here. So in this card it's saying that somebody's coming in through a back door or a back window, or coming in through the glass sliding door, or it was a creeper or a stalker. And this is why we had the energy of BK in this card here. It's also about party substance here, and that can be drug related. It can be either saying something about a party, which wouldn't be unusual, or a party substance, somebody staying there from drinking, or drug related. This is a party substance card, so drug related, but yeah, something about watching. And I just think that was interesting. Undercover, and then below that authority. So if I was to read down the line, I'm seeing undercover authority related to drugs. So looking into drugs. Here we're looking at purposely disappeared because of an organized meetup. Somebody watching. So somebody was watching. Or related to going through that back door. So going through that sliding door, or unlocking that sliding door. That's what this line here means. So again, looking down this line, we're looking at disappeared purposely. That was organised, or a part of it was organised, or it was organised to have that back sliding door unlocked. Now, this is all allegations. None of this is facts. This is just what the cards are saying, and this is related to what I've been picking up in the readings in the past. And then when I watched that video last night, his take on the situation lined up with a lot of the things that were coming out in the cards. Talking about the female that was walking along the side of the house, and somebody was hidden away. So something was hidden about it, or somebody was hidden away. And here, well-funded operation. So I'm just going to leave this one here and just deal with those two questions, being the 2 a.m. time, what happened between the 2 a.m. and the 4 a.m. and then also what happens with the video footage, because these are the things that were coming up in my previous readings. So thank you for joining me. I will see you again next time.